all the way in doobie over there. they thought they were just gonna go over there, just chill themselves, passport themselves out of the corner. No, the law system said no, it's not gonna happen. Man, them have been arrested, and now they have to account. Another episode of the evening, and it is breaking news time. The Guptas have been arrested in Dubai. I don't know if they're going to extradite them, bring them back, do the whole nine Rajesh, or what. I don't know. But I do know that there's recently been breaking news that the guys have been arrested. But this brings up a very interesting chat, or a very interesting reality check. You might actually put it so. By reality check, I mean something that people must face up with. Straight up after our birth, there is one thing we know for sure. It is that we are going to die. Now, in that part of us knowing that reality, as you might call it out, it's something that some people live with, or some people actually try to avoid as much as possible. They kind of evade their way. They know friends who can talk to friends so that they don't have to be held accountable. But, Bawati, but I like this particular text in the Bible which says, bearing in your bodies the dying of our Lord Jesus. It speaks about the judgment aspect of the work of the cross as it relates to judgment. Now, this is one thing that we know, that death that we know that every one of us will face, that death is a form of judgment. But then there is also this one, in this present one. And so, when these people are out there doing all these weird things, the thing that I find very fascinating is that sometimes, to a certain level, they tell themselves, I just have to do so much to not have the law catch up with me, right? And they can get away with these things. They can get away with whatever they get away with. But in time, the judgment on this earth meets up with them, eventually. But sometimes it might not happen like that, Sometimes this story of these people who have done wrong to certain levels or to a certain extent, sometimes they get away with it the same way you remember the movie Jerusalem, which pissed off everybody that watched it. Okay, maybe the people that watched it with me, if you were pissed off by Jerusalem, the movie, because the bad guy gets away with things. But if you think of it, if you are that bad guy, it is very unfortunate for you to have been in this earth without living to see the judgment for the things that you were wrong on. Because this would have taught you of what that judgment of death is actually from. The law that we have here in South Africa, it holds people accountable. Now, you might not like it in all angles and stuff like that. We've had people like Bushiri who can speak anyhow about the law system here. But some of the biggest, dare I not even say it, have been caught all the way in doobie over there. they thought they were just gonna go over there, just chill themselves, passport themselves out of the corner. No, the law system said no, it's not gonna happen. Man, them have been arrested, and now they have to account to an earthly law. Now, bear in mind, the earthly law is only a judgment and amongst people. When you look at the work of the cross, or what happens when Jesus is going towards the cross, you might think it doesn't affect anything. But think about this. He faces two areas of judgment. He gets a judgment from the hand of man. He's been beaten, they put a crown of thorns on him, they do all these things. But when you see him now on the cross, that is now for the sin of all of the world, right? And so you have those two judgments up in there. So if you evade the judgment of man, you will not escape the judgment of God. The same way you see it happen with Christ, you will not escape the judgment. So unfortunately, people find ways around, getting around and thinking, but they do not realize that you're only delaying what is eventually going to happen. You can run, but you cannot hide. Strict Reality Show. We do daily Christian commentary videos. Thought I should just tell you. Some people are so delusional. They allow themselves to believe their own lie. They actually tell themselves, I'm extremely powerful. How powerful were the Guptas? Trust me, you don't even come close. Okay? How powerful were the Guptas? Then one guy, one has the guts to run to his country and then come back and tell us our law is corrupt. I'm telling you, that child. Whose child is this man? And I don't know who believes him, to be honest with you. When you're looking at what just happened right now, if these guys can get arrested. Now, someone might say, you know what, Ricky, maybe they're not coming here, they're arrested there for thinking. Yeah, okay, fine, it's cool. But remember, what I'm trying to illustrate here is that there is a law on the earth. Okay? You might dismiss it here, but you won't dismiss it in another country. There are countries that have better enforcement of the law, and its role is to make sure that everybody understands there is a judgment here and there's a judgment there. Now, you might escape the judgment here, but you will not escape the judgment over there.